Trying to please all of the people all of the time is an impossible task. Take the Volkswagen Touareg, for example, a car that's absolutely massive and can take lots of people and their stuff, but it isn't the kind of car that's going to get the adrenaline pumping going down a B road. Or take the Gordon Murray Automotive T50 with its 4-litre V12 engine producing 650 horsepower. Let's be honest, it's far too powerful for the streets of Woking, and your nan's going to have a bit of a problem parking it in Morrison's, if she can get in it at all. Now granted, those are two very extreme examples, but the attitude has always been that cars are put into segments. A car can do that very well, but it couldn't possibly do that. Well, CUPRA thought, to hell with the norm, and have built what I think could possibly be the perfect car. This, the CUPRA Formentor, a car to please all of the people all of the time. And let me explain how. On my board here are all of the common attributes people look for when buying a new car. And these are the things that I think that the CUPRA Formentor excels at. So, let's start with the first one, styling and practicality. And my God, is it a pretty car. It's an aggressive style, yes, with all these sharp creases and hard edges going out throughout the design. If you look at the lower part of the car, you'll see you've got this grey metallic finish on the lower bumper, the wheel arches and the side skirts, where traditionally you would just see black plastic on other cars. The wheels as well look like something you would have seen in the Max Power magazines in the 90s, and the roof bars are integrated very neatly. Despite being a coupe cum SUV, its size is relatively small. It's about the same as a Golf, but despite being the same size as a Golf, it has way more space inside for 5 people. And the boot is 450 litres compared to the Golf's paltry 380. Now, depending on your requirements, there's a large choice of engines available. First up, you've got 2 hybrid powertrains in either 204 or 245 horsepower outputs. Both have a 1.4 litre petrol engine mated to an electric motor and are good for over 34 miles of pure electric range. Both of these then come fitted with a 6-speed DSG automatic gearbox. We also offer pure petrol models too, starting with a 1.5 litre 150 horsepower unit. This can be mated to either a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed automatic. You then have 3 2-litre petrol engine options. The first one is a 190 horsepower with 4-drive system. You've then got a 245 horsepower version that powers the front wheels, and then you've got the 310 horsepower 4-drive, and that is the flagship range topper, which can do 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds and go on to a top speed of 155 miles an hour. Now, it's all well and good sticking a 2-litre 310 horsepower engine under the bonnet and then sticking it on sale. Believe me, manufacturers have done that and then wondered why they're not very good. So what CUPRA had to do is I had to make sure they got the chassis balance absolutely spot on, while also maintaining that SUV driving style. I've also got these really comfortable seats that really support it, really well padded. And of course, it also makes then getting in and out of the car super easy if you're someone who's firmer of the hip. I also get lots of adjustment in the way I can set the car up. So when I'm taking the kids to school, I can have nice light steering, it's quiet and comfortable. But then when you've dropped off your offspring at your learning institution of choice, I can press this button down here, and all of a sudden, everything becomes a bit more raucous and a bit more fun. You see, I now have full access to the 310 horsepower, the suspension stiffens up, the steering becomes sharper, the throttle response also sharper as well. And then the car can take on the best of the hot hatches available today. But what I've also got is 4-drive, which means I can access that performance all year round. When you take a seat in the cabin, you'll notice straight away that the dash arrangement is very minimalist, but it is all very well screwed together. Take the centre console for example. You try and move that from side to side and you'll notice it's really rigid. Try doing that in your car and you'll be surprised how much flex there will be. The cabin is also finished with lots of fine materials, such as these sport seats, which are finished in Napa leather, in this car in petrol blue, but there's a charcoal variant as well. But you also get this copper stitching to contrast it alongside with the door card and on the handle. On the steering wheel, I've got this carbon effect centre boss, and again with the copper detailing and the stitching to go with it. It all just feels very plush. As well as being well put together, the equipment on offer is of an incredibly high standard. All cars come with diamond cut alloy wheels, tinted windows, LED lights, rear parking sensors, keyless entry, wireless phone charger, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 12-inch display, digital cockpit, adaptive cruise control, sports seats, ambient lighting, and that's just on the V1. Moving up the range then adds additional features depending on the engine choice, which include Napa leather upholstered sports seats, 19-inch diamond cut alloy wheels, a rear view camera, powered tailgate, dynamic chassis control with sport suspension, satellite buttons for the engine start and CUPRA mode, and the list goes on and on and on. When I make my videos, you'll notice I don't put the word review anywhere. They're always guides, showcases, or walkthroughs. And that's because I'm not offering a critical opinion on the car. And it would be wrong of me to do so because I'm not talking from an independent standpoint. However, there are people who do, and they speak very highly of this car. For example, Top Gear says, Cupra's first standalone model is a handsome crossover with decent road manners and plenty of space. Autocar said, for emerging brand Cupra, the Formentor might just be the right car at almost the right time. It's precisely the kind of early offering to demonstrate the alternative style, everyday versatility, and breadth of appeal that the firm can now aspire to conjure for a whole range of future models. They also awarded it their best all-rounder of 2022. What car says it has a stylish design, but it also strikes a good balance between sportiness and practicality. It offers space for 5 adults in its smart-looking interior, plus a big boot, while also being fun to drive. So much so, they made it their coupé SUV for 2022 and 23. So then, it looks good, and it can carry all of your stuff. It's fast, but isn't going to spend half of its life in a petrol station. It's got hot hatch handling that isn't going to break your back. It's got loads of kit. It isn't going to fall to pieces. And it's liked by people whose opinions count for something. Now, if that isn't a perfect car, I don't know what is. I think we're done here.